TikTok, it's time to rock. It's a special 5150 show. I'm here by myself. No, someone's here. Someone's hiding. There he is.
Hello, baby. How's it going, people? Welcome. Happy 5150 day.
Oh, my Lord, my Lord. Guys, if you guys don't know, we have the illustrious Keith Campbell. He's going to fly. He's going to fly with me in the cockpit today while we're running the show. We've got a couple of other people, hopefully, that said that they're going to jump in. So we'll find out. But I've got to do a quick couple of shout-outs, bro, before I pass it on to Keith and get him to say hi. I've got to do a couple of shout-outs to my co-hosts, Hoss, who's working. Simon Hosford, brother, sorry for the late notice for the show today, and also to Brad, the backdoor man cook, again, who's working. So he said he might pop in, Keith, and hang out with us.
Nice.
But, bro, I got up this morning and I opened up my social media feeds and I got bombarded by a couple of posts on Instagram saying, hey, it's 5150 day. Are you guys doing anything today? And I'm going, why would we do, Keith? Why would we do anything today? Keith, can you tell the people why we're doing a show today?
Because 36 years ago, 5150 was released. That's why. That album right there is the reason.
That's the one.
Yep. That album right here.
That album.
This baby. This I got the day it came out.
Wow.
Okay. This is my original copy.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but I was changing my underwear after hearing this. I didn't think that the change with Sammy would be a good one, but I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Eddie had a new sound. It sounded a little bit more modern. It wasn't as frantic, but it was. And Sammy just took his songwriting to a new level. He took Eddie's songwriting to a new level. This is what it's all about. I mean, just the title track alone.
Look, I agree, and I will enjoy talking to you more about the album as we do this show. But I do appreciate you, brother, because I know it's late where you are. And this is one of the great things about our community. And I managed to have a chat with Keith guys earlier today. And I have to tell you, after having the conversation with Keith, I walked away thinking this is one of the reasons why we do this show. This is one of the reasons why we have this channel. It's
why I do it too.
And I felt really good, bro, after having a conversation with you. So, despite whatever happens in our lives, despite, what's happened in our lives, and, Keith's had some tragedy, and he's done some shout outs to our channel and to other channels and other people that we all know, and placed us all together in a big pot of making it better for him. So Keith, thank you, bro. Thank you for the shout out, because we all appreciate that. And you're developing a reputation in our community as a go-to man. And I know that you're modest. I know that
thought
you're
it was a bad one.
No, I know you're modest, and but look, the fact is, we're Van Halen fans. That's the reason why we have this show on this channel, is
Exactly.
to get together and to connect with people. We've got some people that might jump in that you guys will know, and maybe a couple of people that you may not know. But Keith, I'm going to do the quick shout out and stop talking and pass some talking on to you, if that's okay, brother. So we've got Helene O'Hara in the chat all the way from Melbourne, Australia. A very, very, very close and good friend of the channel. Thank you, Helene.
Yes.
Alan Garber, my gosh, we've got Alan in the show. My gosh, this guy is another.
Get him in.
He has a permanent invite to any show we do. Alan is an authority, and again, another modest guy. Knows a lot about a lot of things. Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, all the good stuff.
Yeah, Zeppelin. That show, I loved you having him on for Zeppelin. That was phenomenal. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to get him on some more. On some more. He's promised that he's going to come back. That's going to be a regular feature. We've got Gretch Zeppelin in the chat. again,
Rich.
becoming another very, very good friend of the channel. John ZD351, who's at work, another good close friend of the channel.
Dude.
Melody Honey Odette, new name. Thank you, Melody, for joining us. Hit that
Thank you.
subscribe button. Tim Thomas, brother, another good man of the
Hey,
channel.
Tim.
Yes, Tim is saying hello. Charmaine Taylor, another
Charmaine.
great friend of the channel. Wow. We're blessed to have you guys here. We've got 11 people watching us, Keith. We do get a few people watching the reruns. Please, guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, if you're watching a rerun, help grow our channel. We're about 890. Here he is. Oh my gosh. Here he is. We
Bring him
better
up.
get him in the chat
Get
before
him
he
in
before he sacks me.
There he is. Nice.
Hello, brother.
Hey guys, how are we?
Good. I was just doing the shout out, but then we saw you, and so we better pull finger and get you in here. Look, I'm going to pass it on to you guys for a couple of minutes. So Keith and look, we love talking about Van Halen and Van Halen albums on the 5150 show. We don't care how many times we talk about albums and experiences. We always pick up something new. Keith, tell us what this album means, how you came across it, what you find really appealing about this album 30 something years later. And Brad, I'm going to pass it on to you too, bro. Tell us some juicy bits.
Well, let's go bullet points with Brad first, because
Okay.
I've already got my cylinders warmed up, so he needs to jump in here.
All right then. You're a good man, Brad.
Yeah.
Well, I'm straight into the heavy stuff. No time to get comfortable. Look,
That's how you go. Go in with hard boots on the ground.
I've always loved this album. It's one of my faves. It literally probably around the same time I first got into Van Halen was through Dreams and through the 1984 album. Like those two, like around the same time I got into both albums. Is very bizarre. But 5150 had just been released not long before I got into them. And obviously at first for me, seeing like the film clip to Dreams, I didn't realize it was a different singer. I thought it was I just thought the guy was singing quite crazy high, and I thought that's quite cool. And I went out and bought the CD at the time, and I was just blown away. Just like from the very first song onwards, I was just like, wow, this is insane. And I realized then that it was a different singer because from the album cover, I was like, where's that David Lee Roth guy, that was in the Jump film clip and stuff like that. It just didn't make sense to me at the time. But it became like a daily rotation thing when I first got into this album. And still now, whenever I want a feel-good album, I chuck this album on. It's just one of those epic feel-good albums. The vibe on the album is so exciting. There's a vast contrast in certain ways when it comes to the songwriting. But it's still Van Halen to me, and I love that. I love that they, I think it's healthy in a band to try different things, and they really did try on this album to be, a little bit more song orientated. I think, which I mean, you only got to listen to a song like Dreams that was very song orientated, in my opinion. There's some great guitar playing and everything in it and that, but it's very much a song. It's just a song. It's not. It's got some fantastic playing in it. The keyboard playing is great. The drums. I mean, the drums are just driving. How can you not be excited by that drum beat that Alex is playing? So for me, it brings me back to a time when I first got my car driver's license and I'm driving down the surf coast with my surfboard either on the roof racks or in the back of my car, cruising along, listening to Good Enough and. Just
Summer Nights.
Know, it's one of those albums. As soon as I chuck that CD on, or as soon as it comes on, 5150 album comes on now, straight away I just go back to that spot. I start thinking about that time frame in my life, and obviously 5150, OU818, OU812, and Carnal Knowledge, like those sort of albums to me were very different albums for Van Halen, and but this was the start of it for me, where Van Halen they changed. They were changing along the way with David Lee Roth. Don't get me wrong, and I love David Lee Roth era stuff. I'm not knocking it, but I just loved the direction they were going in this band with Sammy, and you can't really say anything but great stuff about Sammy's vocals on this album. They're just epic. You listen to some of those notes he's hitting, and even like when I was younger and first getting into music and guitar playing and stuff, like Get Up was probably one of my favorite songs on the album because of the intensity, the headbanging, the vibe it got you into. It was a little bit Hot for Teacher vibe, but it kind of, that's what because I loved Hot for Teacher. And then when I heard Get Up, I thought, oh, it's like part two. That's, a young guy, that's what you're thinking. But obviously now I'm a more mature gentleman, and that's probably one of my least favorite songs on the album. All the other songs are sit way higher up for me in the ranking if we were to rank it again. But yeah, it's just blown me away that it's today. Obviously, I realized it's the anniversary of it, and I'm like, wow, man, this is like, what an album. I put it on today again just while I was at work and stuff, and I was listening to it going, this is seriously good time music. Like, they're having fun. You can tell that the band are rejuvenated. They've kind of took a big risk. And, we were talking about this last episode with the MTV special, Andrew, where we're talking about how they were all taking a bit of a risk. They didn't know which direction to go. And obviously once they settled on Sammy, they were feeling comfortable. You could hear that. And people were talking, oh, what's going on? And in the background, like Sammy says it in that special, and the Unleashed special, he knew what they were doing and they were comfortable. They were listening, going, mate, you guys wait till you hear this. That's what he was thinking, yeah?
Yep.
And he was right. So I handed it over to Keith. I could talk all night about this. So
he was like that, just like he was with Wolfgang today. Okay. Before he passed, remember what he was saying? He was like, wait till you hear Wolfgang stuff. This stuff is going to blow. He was like that with Sammy as well. And he was not wrong at all. Even though Lenny and Mo from Warner Brothers, the heads of Warner Brothers, they doubted him. They didn't want, him to have full control. It was going to be Ed and Don's baby. And they insisted that they have a producer just to come in and take care of this, to make sure that it's done right. They already had it covered. They knew what was going on, and they proved it. It going number one right off the get-go proved it all.
Yeah. And it was probably one of their most successful album at that point in time as well. They were blown away, that the first album that they do with Sammy, and it goes to number one. So that's
especially considering that, they went to number two with 1984, just 2 years previously. They got the number one single with Jump. And the only reason they were number two was because they were number two behind Michael Jackson with Beat It, which was done by Eddie. So, and that rode that album out for another year easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the great things about this album, guys, and I listened to it today too, in between doing bits and pieces when I was at work. But I'd be keen to get your guys' opinion on it. And I know I'm biased because this is a Van Halen show and we're all Van Halen nuts, but I'd like to think that we can be a little bit objective when necessary. But I'm going to say that this is one of the few 80s albums that still can stand the test of time. There's a couple of classic 80s things, obviously, about this album, which is great, and when we go back and listen to that and hear these little things like the Simmons drum and stuff like that, we go, this is why it's so great. But, there's reasons why I think this album can stand the test of time, Brad and Keith. And I'd be interested in what you guys have to think with that idea. And obviously anybody in the chat who disagrees or agrees too, just chime in. Have you got an opinion on that, Brad? Am I barking down the wrong street, brother?
No. Well, Keith, you look like you got ready. You're like a greyhound ready to come out of the gates. Go for it.
I'm chomping at the bit, bro.
Go for it. Go for it. You go first.
I mean, there are so many classic songs on this. I mean, my top 3 on this album, okay, is the title track, 5150. I mean, that's a no-brainer, you know. And then you've got Summer Nights, which is phenomenal. And then the opening track, Good Enough.
Yep.
You open with that, you know, you haven't heard Dave do, you know, screams like that, you know, at the end. And even with Dreams, you know, with that high end, you know, right at the end during the last chorus.
Yep.
You know, you haven't heard anything like that from Dave in a long time, you know, since maybe Women and Children First.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a really great, refreshing sound, you know, because it was like Brad said, it was very 80s. It was new trending because he was using the Steinberger. He was also using new equipment, you know, dealing with new rack systems, things like that. He was doing the Bradshaw rack at the time. And, you know, he just wanted a break away from the sound that he had previously. You know, he wanted to do and explore more with Sammy. And it showed. And he did such great work. And it showed through his career with Sammy as well. Became a better songwriter all the way across the board because of it.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, you sort of touching on all the points that I'm thinking of as well. Probably the biggest thing for me, to answer you, Andrew, is that that cliche 80s thing, but it's done, in my opinion, differently to most bands too, because they were pretty standout. They were still Van Halen to me, no matter what. It was always, you could always tell Alex is playing drums, and you could always tell Mikey's on bass, and always tell when Ed was on guitar. So for me, not a lot of bands had that in the 80s because they could have jumped on any instrument and sounded like someone different playing that instrument because they didn't have their style. In my opinion, there was a small bunch of bands around that had a unique, authentic sound, no matter what equipment they used. And I think Van Halen were one of those bands. They could play through, use Simmons drums. It still sounded like Alex, you know. It still sounded like Alex Van Halen.
I think you're right, bro. And something's just dawned in my mind while you've said that. I think the reason why they did that so well is because they were, first and foremost, a rock band. That's why.
And they were a good rock band that rehearsed a lot.
No. First and foremost, they were brothers, and they were syncopated together like that. That's first and foremost.
Yeah,
100%. That would have been straight off the bat for me. That's probably the biggest thing. There was that, you know, cohesiveness.
Brethren.
Brothers, you know,
they
were always going to sound like Van Halen. Even with Wolfie on bass, they still sound like Van Halen.
Exactly.
No disrespect to Mikey, because Mikey is one of my favorite bass players, all round sort of musos, because he's such a great bass player. He knows what to play. He plays less, plays more. He sings great. Like, what could you want? Oh, such a beautiful human as well. So, but the brothers were the sound of Van Halen to me. That's without a doubt. And on this record, you know, like they touched on keyboards on 1984, but there's, you know, on this album, like, you got Dreams, their biggest, you know, the song on the big single with was it the Blue Ain't? Well, was it the
Why
Blue
Can't This Be Love was a big single, the first big single.
That one too. That one, Why Can't This Be Love as well.
Yeah. And then Dreams.
Yeah, and they're both very keyboard orientated. So, and then you got Love Walks In, which is very keyboard. They were doing stuff that still sounded like Van Halen to me, with all this new stuff like that they'd never done really until 1984. So, and on 1984, they, you know, even though Jump and there's the keyboard stuff in there, it still sounds like David Lee Roth era to me. It doesn't, like, it's not too far away from the first, you know, few albums, in my opinion. It's just like, for me, like the Roth era, 1984 is one of my favorite records, just because I think it's, even despite the problems I'm having in the band, it's closer to the 5150 era, maybe, to my ears, and that's why I like that album. Maybe, I don't know why. You know, I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know. The 5150 record definitely has more 80s sound to it than 1984. Does that make sense? It's got more of that or 80s sound to it. And obviously, Ed, they recorded a lot of this in they recorded all this in his home studio, which is probably another testament to this record. It's something a bit fresh, new. They wanted the creative flow to happen when it suited them. So,
and it was their baby. It was
that's
me
right.
and Don's baby.
Exactly, and I think that's the best way to put it. I said all that waffle, and you put it in 2 words. It's their baby. So, yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
And like I said earlier, they caught a lot of confrontation from the label, just to get a producer in there, and they brought Mick Jones in there, and they realized, when he came in, he was like, no, they've got it right. They're doing it. They just want him to oversee everything, and he barely even had to be in there.
Yeah.
Maybe just to do a little arranging and a little, mixing on choruses and stuff like that. But they had it all, soup to nuts.
Awesome, guys. I'm going to interrupt you guys, and if that's okay, and introduce somebody that's going to jump in the show with us. So
yes,
this is a big deal for us. So we're going to get a perspective from a young person that's a Van Halen nut that clearly has
still waiting for this.
Has some credibility with us in our community. So put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Kristen, 5150. How are you, Kristen?
Hi,
Can you
I'm
hear
good.
us?
How are you? Yes,
awesome,
I can hear you.
So my name is Andrew. Nice to meet you. Up on the top tier next to me, we have Keith, and I'm sure you're familiar with Keith. And down below next to you, we have Brad, a co-host of the 5150 show. So we're honoured and happy to have you in here with us to celebrate the 5150 album. We're going to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about yourself, how you discovered this band, and obviously what this album means to you, Kristen. If I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, please correct me.
No, that's correct. Thank you. I got into Van Halen thanks to my dad. All the posters and stuff, those are all bands I'm into. I'm all into 80s bands and stuff. My dad was the one to get me mostly into all the rock bands that I enjoy. Van Halen happens to be my #1 favorite band for sure. I just grew up listening to them. I don't remember a certain age I was. For all I know, I was probably born listening to Van Halen. But the 5150 album, I grew up starting to listen to Dave, that's for sure. I definitely grew a love for Dave. And when my dad started turning on Sammy records, I was struck, that's for sure. And my dad used to have a stereo system in his car. So every time he would put on Van Halen, it would just feel like the band is playing behind you in the back seat. So I think 5150 is definitely up there with obviously one of my favorite Halen albums for sure. I don't even know if I have a couple favorite songs on that album. I love Summer Nights. That one is for sure my favorite, especially on Live Without a Net. That is great. But yeah.
Yeah.
Kristen, where are you from?
I'm from California, Southern California.
Where did you born and raised there? Because I live in San Diego.
I was born and raised in Las Vegas. We just moved to California in 2015, I believe. I live like an hour away from LA in the valley. So,
but you grew up in the area, with the, in the vibe of everything. And what I love is you were raised right. Parenting done right. Finally, thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, look, I've got to agree with you, Keith.
When you see your father, do me a favor and kiss him for me and tell him I said thank you.
Yeah. We're pretty lucky. We've had a couple of young people on this show. We had Hayden on about a couple of months ago, didn't we, Brad? Another young Australian guy who's a Van Halen nut. And, you know, I'm serious when I say this, you know, because we were out there, we were buying these albums, Kristen, when these albums were dropped, and we've been listening to them for a long time. And so obviously what appeals to us with us being Van Halen fans is when we find out that young people are interested in this music, it's like, wow, this is great, isn't it, Brad?
100%, 100%. Yeah, I find it interesting, and it's refreshing to see, you know, Van Halen is still so relevant. Young people are getting into them, and like yourself, Kristen, and it's really, really wonderful to see. You know, it's great because it's funny. Some bands are, you know, always going to be timeless, and I think Van Halen, despite lineup changes, whatever it may be, they will be timeless. I think we're stuck with that, whether you like it or not. So, so tell me, Kristen, you said you love Summer Nights. What songs like Dreams and that? How do you find those? Do they give you goosebumps like that? For me, the Dreams, the Love Walks In, those songs, they give me goosebumps. They're those emotive type songs, and so a song like Dreams is something that it's so positive in a sense where we all, you know, we all want to have dreams, aspirations, and you know, I just found that song, you know, when I was young, I used to put it on, and it used to rev me up, makes me want to, you know, try and achieve and do the best and strive the best I can. And that was such a wonderful thing lyrically that Sammy could do. So songs like Dreams and Love Walks In and that, how do they, you know, do you get the goosebumps? I'm interested to hear.
Oh, for sure. I feel like every single song on the album, or just in general by Van Halen, gives me goosebumps. It's just the sound, especially from that album, the few songs like Dreams, like you said, those songs just, they're so different. Like when you hear them, and say if you were to hear any other band, they wouldn't really bring you back in a way. It wouldn't make you experience what that song makes you feel. Like, for example, Dreams, when I hear that song, I just think about my dad and I driving down like the strip in Las Vegas, just blasting that on the stereo, like escaping reality. And it's just, it's songs like those that just change from other songs and make it feel different.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So another question I've got for you, Kristen, is so you said you were pretty heavily into David Lee Roth era. So when you discovered that like 5150 was with a different singer, how did that affect you?
I mean, I still loved it either way, honestly. I'm not sure. Honestly, I loved all of it, no matter what. To me, Van Halen is Van Halen no matter what. If Eddie is in it, I'm going with it. But yeah.
Great answer.
You know what? Here's one thing that I've noticed with the next generation, and all love and consideration towards you, Kristen. Everybody after our generation, they look at Van Halen as a whole, you know, with Dave and Sammy. We grew up in the time where there was, you know, and probably still is, the division, you know.
Correct.
I have always looked at it just like her, you know. It's all about the music. Come on, just let them play the music, you know. It doesn't matter. The music is phenomenal across the board, right?
Yeah. Look, I agree. Now, I've got a question for you, Keith and Kristen, because I know you've seen this act in particular, Keith. So I'm going to chuck it at Kristen first. So you're a Van Halen fan, and you've been a Van Halen fan for a long time. So you've got this entrenched and enculturated in you, which is a great thing. As Keith said, it's fantastic. Great parenting. So has this love of Van Halen, has that filtered through to Wolfgang Van Halen's music, and are you finding any similarities with Wolfgang Van Halen, given the fact that, you know, he's contemporary. And Keith, you seeing that band live, are there any similarities, or is there a detachment from Van Halen and Wolfgang? So, Kristen, do you want to answer that first, and then Keith, I'll flick that on to you if you guys understand my question.
Sure. Honestly, I think I love Wolfgang as a whole. His music, his band, his personality, everything. I think he definitely takes after his dad a lot. I think Wolf gets a lot of hate that he doesn't deserve. Like, I could go on any single picture, video of him, and there's always hate comments about it. It's just, I don't understand why people do that. He's keeping practically Van Halen alive. He's living up that Van Halen name, and he's just continuing to make fans and grow fans like me, like younger people, into their like into that scene. And there's a lot of people that are my age that are into rock, like rap and pop music, that they don't really appreciate that good music that should be appreciated. And Wolf being one of the best rock artists right now and winning awards and stuff, that's definitely bringing more people in my generation into that rock scene, which I love.
And with me, I mean, I know, I grew up with him. I grew up with Ed. I was 12 years old when I first heard him, and my head just exploded. So seeing Wolfgang evolve into the man he's become, I mean, I was there in '98 in Philly, and the video that everybody sees of him running out as a little 7-year-old, I was at that show, like seeing him just like run out while Eddie's playing 316. Just like, well, how does that happen? You just like, you just feel the arm hair jump up every time you see it. And you realize this boy has been inundated with this music all his life. He's absorbed everything his father has made, but he's still going to make his own. Okay. Because he wants to do it, but he's not going to be his dad, and he's always said that, and I love the fact that he stops, in between songs, and he talks about that. He's like, glad you're here to see me. Not here for a Van Halen concert, We're not going to play Panama. We're not going to do Jump, but, and everybody loves it, I love what he's done for himself, He is the true epitome of legacy. He carries the name, but he makes it his own.
Yeah, definitely forging his own way. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's what his father wanted too. He didn't want him to, be a Van Halen legacy type, so to speak. He wanted him to create his own path, and respectfully, he's doing that.
Yeah, precisely. And even growing up, I mean, when I first saw Van Halen, my first time was in '81. During the pinnacle, at the zenith, David Lee Roth in his little, football pants and, going nuts all over the stage, all the way up through '84, meeting the band in '84, the night of the concert, after the show, and then getting a chance to see them again while I'm in the Air Force, away from where I grew up, in New Mexico, seeing that show was phenomenal. Just, I could not believe the energy, even down there. And it was, it was a small town in New Mexico, in Las Cruces. They have a college there, but it wasn't a big college. And they sold that joint out. It was packed. It was, excuse my French, but it was nuts to butts. And everybody was just screaming. It was the ultimate show. I could not believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Keith, I've got to say, I'm a little bit jealous that you got to see as many Van Halen shows as you have. I think I can speak for Andrew as well there. I'm sure he would have loved to have seen the shows that you've seen. And I'm guessing same as you, Kristen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The the wild thing about this is, I mean, every time I'm sitting at this concert, every one of these, all 36 that I've experienced, I just wish I had a camera mounted to my head so everybody in my life could see what I'm seeing, And now you get everybody with their cameras up like this.
Awesome.
But,
hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to drop somebody else in the stream to have a chat with us too, because we're here to celebrate 5150, and we really appreciate it. We've got 11 people watching us. We really appreciate it. We get a few hits later. We get a few watches on our streams. So if you're watching and you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do. And if you want to be associated to our channel with pushing any of your social media accounts, just let me know, or Brad know, or Keith know, or Kirsten, or anybody know, and we'll attach your channels and we'll push them here. We're going to do a special shout out for Hayden on Sunday, who did a show with us. He's going to, he wants us to push his channel, so we said yes, so we'll put a link to his channel. So we're happy to do that for anybody. So it's the least we can do. But it's my pleasure, guys. You guys know this guy. He's another rat bag. He's a rat bag New Zealander. His name is Chris Hunter, another Van Halen fan. He's going to jump on and join and hang out with us and share some experiences. Here he is. How are you, brother?
People, happy birthday.
What's going on, brother? Welcome
Happy
to the
birthday.
show.
I don't even want to
50
talk.
time, brother.
I don't even want to talk. I just want to listen to your stories about the concerts you've seen.
I just have to put you on solo layup because you're behind a mountain of something. Hold on. Oh.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that mess. Oh, that's a thing of beauty. Oh, I just erupted.
We're talking about your gear, not you, Chris, when we said a thing of beauty.
Oh,
We're not talking about, all right, okay, so you can be...
And there's more. What's awful, I got the guitar. Oh, there's not the guitar.
Oh,
It's just
here we go.
Guitar.
Oh, I get the feeling Chris likes guitars, guys. Look,
I'm sure your guys' houses are the same. You're just being polite.
Yeah, we got a few. But, brother, we're here to celebrate 5150, and I know that this is not my show. It's a show for you guys and everyone in the chat. So, look, you've jumped in, bro. So tell us about 5150, how you found the album, what you were doing, some of the highlights of this album. Share them with us, brother.
See, I'm embarrassed to say that, like, it's probably the last era that I literally discovered of the band. Like older sisters, and I grew up with the Roth stuff, and it was just normal. Like when Jump was on TV, like I was like, 10 in the middle of the 80s. So like that was just normal, But and then I obviously loved the guitar, and by that stage it was Sammy in the band, and that's like Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. And then right into Guitar Tones, and by Balance, and by Van Halen 3, I'm just like going, oh, how much treble did he use? Oh, and I had to go back and find it. And like, I remember a while ago, Andrew, you said it was one of the good things. Maybe my taste is coming up, but you said, oh, it's one of the good things that survived the 80s. And I'm sitting here going, what? Loads of good stuff has survived the 80s fantastically.
I said one of the good things, because there are some horror stories, brother. So give me a little bit of slack, bro, please.
Sorry,
okay?
I must have read it wrong. So I know much more about this kind of album era from just being a nerd and reading the books and finding out that, like, that it was, because Eddie Van Halen's black Lamborghini going to the shop, that the guy's like, oh, you should give him a call,
What
and
a
then
story.
knowing Montrose and going, oh, yeah, of course, that's the guy from Montrose. Fantastic. Yeah. And then reading other stuff, like finding out they've, become great friends, and he buys Sammy buys a house, 2 houses down from Ed or something in Malibu.
Yeah, the Malibu house. Yeah, the beach houses.
Right. And I got to give both Keith and Kirsten love and envy, because you guys like grow up in that, we come from another part of the world. I'm like, whoa. So you're driving around in your dad's car in California listening to this. It's like, oh my God. But enough of me. Please keep telling your stories. Well,
let's see. Where do I start? Jeez. I mean, I was coming off of the high from 1984 in the Air Force. Okay, I already had like short hair, and I had met them on July 28th after the concert at a bar that was attached to a condo, and I met Eddie, Mike, Alex, and the wives.
Oh,
And then the next day, I saw Dave in the mall right there next to it, attached to it. And I was like, how do you top that? And then next thing you know, I end up getting stationed in New Mexico. I'm like, I'm never going to see these guys. They're not going to come out here. They end up playing out in Las Cruces. I get a decent, I get a ticket, and I end up down on Mikey's side, and I end up with one of his picks. And it was just a phenomenal show. You had Beat, Bachman Turner Overdrive opening, and then they pull out Leslie West and they start playing Mississippi Queen. How can you go wrong with that?
Dream.
Everybody was going nuts. I mean, if anybody knows good rock, I mean, Leslie was the man back in the day. He was. He built the hard rock genre as it is today.
The tone.
Mm-hmm. He deserves all that tribute.
Oh yeah. I know they're all awesome, and I know like meeting they'd all be like Alex and Mike, it'd all be amazing to meet, and I know that Ed's a really nice guy, and he probably gets bugged by everybody under the sun since 78 onwards, but super nice guy, and you met him?
Oh, he was like a bro. I mean, I didn't even notice it when he came in. I mean, me and my friend, we had gotten a weekend pass, and we were going to go see the concert, which was like maybe 2 miles outside the base on the Mississippi Gulf Coast in Mississippi. And all we did was we rented a condo, which was right there next to it, and we figured, okay, we'll stay there for the weekend. And we were happy because there was an attached bar down below. So, yay, we don't have to drive or anything, or even go out and get alcohol. So we went to the show, and we hung out up top during the opener, which was Autograph. And then we went down onto the floor because we had general admission. We could go down onto the floor. And me being 5'3", I'm a sneaky little SOB. So I got up to the front, right in front of Eddie, right in front of his microphone. And I had stuffed in my sock an Instamatic Kodak camera, a little 110. And I took a picture of him jumping right off of Alex's riser, right towards me, with the microphone just to his right at me, though, with the split going. And it was such an epic shot. And I wish anything in my world I still had that picture today, because even Zlo's would be like, wow, that's a great shot.
Wow.
I was just going to ask you that. Do you still have the shot?
No, I don't. I lost it a bunch of years ago in a move. I was so disappointed. I'm like, oh, God. Of all the things I wish I still had, I wish I had that.
Hey, guys, I'm going to just steer the attention away a little bit here to this comment that Alan's put in there. And it's a comment that we probably know and we don't think a lot of, but this is one of the great things about Alan. That 51 track was recorded using Eddie's vintage 58 Flying V. We knew, but isn't that one of the reasons why that song sounds so good? Because of, Brad and Kirsten and Chris, I'd be and Keith, I'd be interested in what you think about the fact that he was using that 58. Keith, do you want to answer first?
The first thing I thought of when I heard it being played was, that sounds like the Hoffa teacher guitar. First thing I thought of. It sounded identical. If you listen to the tone of it, bam, same thing.
Wait, is that V the Hoffa teacher V, or that's a different V? Is it?
Not the guitar. He used the Flying V for the song, though.
Yes. So
he actually used the Flying V for a lot of 1984, and Alan will back this up as well.
Yeah. So Alan and Kirsten, what do you guys think about that? The Flying V being used a lot.
Love it. I'm actually ashamed that he sold it though after the fact.
I bet you Wolfgang's upset about that too.
But considering how it was acquired, it was kind of a little sketchy. I see his reason for selling it. And he never used it after that. So
I don't know that story. Why is it sketchy? How did he get it?
it was acquired through Tom Anderson, and Tom Anderson acquired it sketchily. Through a family and the grandkids and the adjoining family, they said that it wasn't, sold properly. So.
Yeah, there's a few theories. It was, it was only paid for cheaply. It was only like $100 or something like that. And some other theories say that it was just taken. No money was exchanged at all. So, yeah, one of those rock and roll stories.
Well, they got paid for it, but they didn't get paid a lot for it.
Oh, okay.
We're talking 58 V.
Oh, I just was going to ask. It is a 58.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy.
A 58 V original.
Ugh. What? And he sold it?
Yeah. Yeah, he sold it.
Yeah.
He recorded a lot of good songs with that guitar. A lot of good songs. And if you think of a lot of the tracks without the tremolo bar in the 1984 album, yeah, you might be right.
You think did that happen because the aftermath of destroying his destroyer and, the tone not being the same?
I think it was probably due to Frankie getting worn out from so many years of touring. And also him just starting to work in the 5150, the Kramer guitar.
So do you guys know, sorry, I don't want to keep jumping in here, but do you guys know how long had the 5150 studio been alive before they recorded this album?
He built it and then they started recording immediately. The first thing he recorded were the demo tracks for Jump.
3 years? 3 years?
Yeah.
2 years?
82, end of 82, he started building it.
83, 84, 85, 86.
So
yeah, 4 years.
He built it end of 82. They did the 1984 album in it in 83.
Yep.
And everything since.
Kristen, have you seen Van Halen live?
No, I have not. The only thing I got closest to seeing Van Halen live was seeing David Lee Roth play with Kiss in 2020, which was March before COVID hit. So I get jealous. You guys got to grow up seeing them play. I did not yet. That was the best that I could get, honestly. I was going to go see.
Oh, I had tickets for the January 8th show, which was supposed to be his final show. And I didn't get a chance to see it because everything got shut down because of COVID. But you got to see him last year or the year before. I'm jealous of you. You are my hero.
Robert.
He was still jumping up there like he did in the 80s, dude. He was rocking it. And when Kiss went up there, it was funny because my dad was the one who took me to the show, and we were in the hallway still scheduling where our seats were, because we saw them at I forgot what it's called. We saw them in LA, and we didn't know where our seats were because there was literally so many, and there was so many people there. And once we started looking up our seats and asking the security guards, we start hearing Jump playing, and we just hear David Lee Roth singing. And my dad and I actually did not know David Lee Roth was playing with Kiss, so we thought it was the radio or something inside the center. But no, we got to our seats and we see David Lee Roth up there jumping all over the place. We're like, holy crap, David Lee Roth. So it was dope. It was definitely awesome.
Okay, so now you get to smack your dad. How does he not know David Lee Roth is opening for Kiss?
It must be so cool to sit beside
your dad. Dude, I don't know. Yep, I don't know. We were gonna see Wolfgang play back in LA because that's the closest to where he was playing in August of last year, and the show got rescheduled because of COVID. So we're still waiting to see him, which sucks. So
See,
So
she's
you
got
think-
one on all of us here. She
Yeah,
got
do you think David Lee Roth's going
Yeah.
to talking over each other? Do we think
Yeah.
David Lee Roth's going to end up touring, or do we know if that's ever going to happen?
Dave is always, putting out the flag, saying, "Wait until the tribute show or the circuit rolls around for all the benefits." That's what his last post was when it came to that stuff.
I think you've brought up a good topic, and I'd love to talk about it for a little bit. I know we're here, guys, to talk about 5150, but it's all related. The tribute show, this wonderful tribute show that we have imaginations of what it could be and where it could be and who might be included in it. I'd be keen for us to talk about that for a couple of minutes, guys. Is it going to go ahead? Where's it going to be? Is it going to be as huge as Live Aid? If you guys are old enough to remember Live Aid, come on, what do you guys reckon? Brad, you got an opinion on it?
Well, I don't know if anyone remembers the Freddie Mercury tribute concert that happened. I've got an idea that it might be something similar to that. They get all guests in to do guitar, and a lot of maybe his disciples, people that loved Ed, and I can think of a million guitar players, but narrow it down to the ones that were, all about Ed, and it was the inspiration for them, or Ed's heroes. Some of Ed's heroes maybe get up and play. Would be lovely to see Wolf get up and play a song or two, maybe for his dad. But I know Wolf would probably end up playing on the different kind of truth stuff if they were to do that. That would be something that would be really cool to see for sure. As long as it's done respectfully and people aren't trying to be Eddie Van Halen, that would be, that would be cool to see as a one-off. I don't know whether I'd want to see something continue on like more than one show, though, if that makes sense.
I agree with you. I agree with you, bro, and I get where you're coming from. Before I jump in with my opinion, I'm going to fire it through to Chris and Kirsten and Keith. Chris, do you have an opinion on, or what would you like to
opinion.
see? Yeah.
My opinion is, Brad, I love your mind. When you said all that, I was like, oh, maybe a Freddie Mercury show. And then you just started peppering ideas. And I'm like, oh my God, Brad's a genius.
Yes. He is.
Like there's just seen like Steve Vai, obviously, from playing with,
yes.
or like Betancourt, and just all the people, the guitarists that, or everyone loves Ed. Everyone, all these guys do. Come on, it's so amazing. Yeah. Who else could be firing off? Who else is a massive.
Even Ed's friends like Brian May, all these, Tony Iommi, get guys up that obviously can not try to play like Ed, but just get up and play the guitar parts the best they can, or respectfully how they
get Clapton in there,
or play their way. Play it their way.
I'm saying. It wouldn't be a case of no one's ever going to be able to play like Ed, so there's no point getting a clone up there. It would be great to see someone get up there and play the stuff note for note as well, though, don't get me wrong. But I think it would be more heartfelt if it was people that Ed knew he inspired, like Nuno Betancourt you mentioned and things like that, or people that he looked up to, the people that inspired.
Vito.
And then
I'd love Vito.
Obviously you'd have Weasel Zappa in there, or like just
Weasel.
people that are
Thousands of them.
in the family circle, so to speak, would be cool. I mean, I'd love to see that sort of thing happen with some of the bands that he toured with. Like you've got Alice in Chains, you'd get Jerry Cantrell up, you'd get like Baby Animals, my mate Dave Leslie up, and things like that. That would be
Cook,
really
Brad Cook up there, Simon Hosford.
Yeah. Don't
Get the Haas up there.
My heart just started pounding out of my chest. I don't think I'd do it, Andrew.
Imagine if Haas gets the invite.
Oh, he'd nail it. I mean, that would be respectful as well, because Haas is his own person. He's not trying to be Ed, that's what I'm saying. Not someone who thinks that Ed Van Halen.
But that's the thing that's cool about like the legacy of Eddie. He would want, somebody who you wouldn't expect.
That's what I mean.
Who's still good, and Haas is that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's under the radar, and he is the best kept secret on the planet.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, Robert's right. Robert Ranford. G'day, Rob. It's good to see you. Another good friend of the channel. Brad Paisley did a great version of Hot for Teacher. So go and check that out too.
Brad.
And he's not trying to be Eddie.
Yep.
He's not.
No. He put his own spin on it.
Maya doing Panama. Yep.
I would love to see. I'd love to see. I know, like for me, I hear when I listen to Van Halen, especially the early boogie sort of tunes, I hear a lot of ZZ Top influence without a doubt. And I would love to
Billy. To see Billy up there, that would be phenomenal.
Billy get up and play his own version of, like, say, something like Ice Cream Man or something like that. It was ZZ Top's top style of do it, like with the band, with Alex and Mikey. That would be cool.
I could see that. That would be awesome. Oh, man.
There's a few ideas for you guys.
And what else would be awesome to see Alex here the whole time? If Alex played.
Oh, he has to be behind the kit the whole time. He has to.
Well, what they'll probably do, and they'll do it like they did with the Peter Green tribute with Mick Fleetwood, because he was getting on a bit. So they had another drummer. They had Ringo Starkey's son, Zeke, drum with him as well. So they probably would do that, because a lot of the drumming techniques and patterns that you have to do to do Van Halen well would probably require, maybe a second drummer. But I wouldn't have a problem with that. Again, a good
name.
I
have a suggestion.
Who?
Wolfgang. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Everybody said that Wolfgang's a better drummer than he is a guitarist. Even Alex said it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Jimmy Ray. Hey, Joe.
Yes, so there's a fair bit of food for thought for whoever wants to organise the show.
Yeah.
Is it gonna happen, guys? Is it gonna happen, or is it just another dream that we have?
I have an inkling that it won't happen. But it would be lovely to see. Yeah.
I like to think that, within the next year or so, maybe something might be organized if the climate clears up, if you know what I mean. But
I know.
In terms of, like, look at the ensemble that you would have, though. I mean, people will be jumping and chomping at the bit. I mean, look at the people that they had lined up for the Kitchen Sink tour already to start off with. So they'd already be on board. So David Grohl, here's another drummer you could throw on the batch there.
Yeah.
Without being political, I don't know the full ins and outs, but like, say that dream thing happened, right? Do you think Michael Anthony would be playing a bunch of the bass, or any of the bass, or all of the bass, or?
Yeah.
I'm sure Wolf would say throw him in all of it, because he deserves it.
I think Mikey it would have to be Mikey, Alex, the whole show, or it wouldn't be worth putting it on. That would be.
If you're going to throw a bass player on, throw in a second bass player, but don't take Mikey out ever, or Alex.
I don't. Mikey's. They don't need a second bass player. Mikey's still gigging now. He's still doing stuff, So he's capable of doing a whole show for 100%. And I think Alex is too. So, but who knows? I don't think it will happen, because I think it would have happened by now, or it would have been organised by now. That's just my take on it. But yeah, we can live in hope, But geez, that kitchen sink tour would have been amazing.
I do have an opinion on it, and I know it's all about timing, though. Okay, and the climate, considering everything that's going on. Right, getting all of the performers that want to be on this show, or if they do like multiple shows, if they do like 3 across the country, one in New York, one in Chicago, one in LA, or if they do just a one show, like they did with the tribute show for Freddie. If they do something like that, that would be an all-day affair. So you're gonna have a big lineup as well. So
you would have
to have people backing up, because that's going to be an all-day affair.
You'd have to have opening acts. That's what happened with the Freddie Mercury one. You had Metallica, you had Guns N' Roses, you had Extreme, you had all these bands playing Queen songs, and then showing them playing a little bit of their own stuff as well. That would be cool too. Like the main event would probably go for an hour and a half or something like that, but everything else around it would be support acts. I mean, you could have all the support acts that opened for Van Halen at the start. That would be really cool.
And then when Sammy comes out, you're just like, "Hello, baby," and he just lets it rip. He would. I could see it, and it would be so beautiful.
100%.
Look, I agree with you guys. I think it has to. They've got to do something. The legacy of Eddie Van Halen and the position that he holds in rock music, as not only as a guitar player but as a musician,
not just rock music.
He requires, in my opinion, some kind of tribute. And look, we saw it with, as Brad said, we saw it with Freddie Mercury. We saw Clapton organise something similar with George Harrison passing. It's got to be in the cards. It's got to happen.
I will say this: my opinion is that it could only be a one night thing. It couldn't be something they take on the road. I don't think it would logistically work, and I think it would just take away from the sentiment behind it. So I think, like, say, Chris Cornell, when he passed, they did the big celebration of his life. It was one night, So I think
and if they filmed it, they could film it and do it a package deal and stuff like that, and the fans will take it. They could do it on a Blu-ray and DVD and maybe even a pay-per-view, and you can watch it live, from wherever you are around the world. So I don't have any problems with. Yeah, I don't have a problem with them, making it into, a business activity as well.
Watching it live stream either.
Yeah, it's all about making money. Some of these bands have got to make money now, especially when you consider what's been happening the last couple of years. No money has been made.
Yeah.
100%. Well, they can sell the DVD afterwards.
They can sell it all.
Yeah.
It'll all sell.
Or these days they just stream it on, Disney Plus or Netflix or whatever, and you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, you're right, bro. And again, that's a money-making venture. The millions that they got when they did the Beatles Get Back session, through Disney Plus was just more money than what they would have made if they'd released it through the movies, apparently. So
100%.
good luck to them. Simon, the Rock Professor's in the chat, guys. Please do a shout out to the Rock Professor.
Simon, how are you guys?
Professor, love you.
So, gentlemen and lady, I have got to be somewhere in the next 15 minutes. So I'm going to love you and leave you all. But I wanted to wish you, happy 5150 day.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. The 5150 show's named after this album. This album is it's a big part. We Brad and I are related. I'm Andrew 5150 and Brad is 5150. It's because of this album.
Andrew, we have to talk to Brad about the dress policy for 5150 day.
I thought it would be more fitting to wear this.
But we respect you. We got you. It was time to drop that in. I had to. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
bro, I know you're a busy man. Thank you for joining us, bro.
I wanted to make sure I got on just to do the little celebration. and everything like that. I'd love to stay. Unfortunately, I've got something I've got to be at in about 15 minutes. I'll probably be running a tad late for it, but that's okay because I was really happy to be able to share this time with you guys. So thank you so
brother.
much.
Brad,
See you
you got a beautiful mind.
You guys, likewise. We're all family. So
we should all share the same brain.
That's it. And
Buy more
lovely,
guitars.
lovely to meet you, Kristen. And I'm sorry that we're all talking over you, and probably you should be talking more. Get it out. Get it out.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions that we're going to fire
fine.
through to her too. So yeah. So no, thank you, brother, for jumping on. It's always a pleasure. You know that this channel is here because of you too, brother. So thank you.
I also wanted to say thank you, Andrew, but I wanted to say thank you for all the new subscribers because we're creeping up to 900 now. So we're getting close to our target of 1,000 subscribers. So thank you, everyone who's doing all the hard work because we're an authentic, little channel and we're doing things our way and the growth just feels good. It's like what we're doing is acknowledged and loved, and we're giving it right back. So
thank you, brother.
Peace. See you guys.
God bless.
Brad,
God bless.
Love to your mother and tell her feel well, okay?
We'll do. We'll do.
Right.
I'm talking to her later. So see you. Peace.
God bless, brother. So Kristen, I'm going to take up a comment that Brad said. We're doing a lot of talking. We really appreciate the fact that you've jumped on, and we've touched in social media. We made some connections through Mikey there. So I'm intrigued and we've said it before about young people becoming involved and digging Van Halen. So we're talking about this album here, 5150. Do you have a favorite? And I know clearly you're a David Lee Roth fan. So do you have a favorite Van Halen album that you'd love to share with us? With David Lee Roth, sorry.
A favorite Van Halen album? With David Lee Roth, probably the first album. I gotta go original with that one. Either that one or 1984 for sure. I love every single album with Dave on it, but for sure for me, it's probably Van Halen #1 because that album got me into Van Halen to begin with.
Yeah, brilliant.
Smart girl.
Can't go wrong with that album, Keith and Chris.
We've got to start from the foundation.
And your favorite Sammy album?
Yeah. Favorite Sammy album? I don't understand why this album is hated so much, but Balance and 5150. OU812 is another great one. Balance has to. Everyone
Balance.
For some reason, everyone rates Van Halen's Balance as like the lowest. I'm like, what? Like, Balance has such good songs on it. Feelin' is definitely my favorite song on there, by far.
See, she gets it.
Yeah.
And great guitar tones.
Yeah. The production value on that album is out of this world. Best sound that they've had across the board.
Yeah. I agree.
For
Probably
sure.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from A Different Kind of Truth, I love A Different Kind of Truth. I listened to that and it's just like, modern day production. Something about that album sounds. Do you like that album, Kirsten? Yeah?
Yes, I love the album.
There's so many. I love the raw songs on that. She's a Woman. One of the original demo songs. I mean, the way they produce that is fantastic. But even the new songs like Chinatown or As It Is, that's probably my favorite song out of the whole album on that one. Just because of the way that Eddie and Alex jam together on that, and how Dave pulls a song out of that is beyond me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many moments of highlights in that album.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
And that's what makes Ed's head spin. He's like, how am I able to do this? And he can pull a lyric out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of those two. That's why I love Dave and Ed. That's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
And And I have no qualms whatsoever against Sam. All right.
No, same.
Here's what happened though. When Eddie met Sam, I'm sorry, his songwriting structure changed completely. He became a more complete songwriter. You know, Eddie was writing riffs before that. You know, and they were like putting together, and then they were finding a chorus and doing it. Here with Sammy, with a bigger range and him not having to tune down, that's where he was able to do a lot better song structure, and it showed, obviously, you know, all the way through for every song, you know, and then it showed all the way on the back end with a different kind of truth on the end, you know. He showed his metal all the way through.
Different Kind of Truth is such a proud hand on heart moment for a swan song, you know. I mean, they've got obviously the lot to Tokyo, which is amazing on a record too, but you know, every time I listen to Different Kind of Truth, just subverting us here, guys, you know, I'm just so proud of, like, you know, that they put that album up to what, 12 years or something crazy, and then all of a sudden it's
10 years this year.
I mean, check that out. I mean, the album is kicking. It's just like, you know, you want to get your dishes done well, put that album on.
It still holds up, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll still hold mud.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think, obviously, too, with the passing of Eddie, that album has special significance for us because we kind of hoped that there was going to be a follow-up, didn't we? You know, when they dropped this album, and we all loved it, and we all thought this was great, and you know, we all jumped on the Van Halen bandwagon, and we're going through another cycle. It was great. It was fantastic. We were all excited. You know, Eddie was starring on Guitar World magazine covers again. You know, we were getting the gear, Keith, weren't we? The Wolfgangs were coming through, the EVH Wolfgangs, new guitar models coming through. It was like, wow. And then they were touring. And we never got that follow-up album. You know, it's just... yeah, bittersweet. This band, you know, it can take you on a high crest of a wave and then bang, you hit the rocks.
Yeah, but life has a way of kicking in, though.
Yeah.
You know, and it kicked him in between tours.
Yeah.
You know, it kicked him in the teeth big time.
Yeah.
You know, and he still came out and he still went back out. You know, even though he canceled half the tour with the diverticulitis, you know, in the 2012 tour. You know, well, not half, maybe the last third, but still, you know, every show that he put on during that tour, it was still full bore, you know, like it was, you know, on the 2015 tour as well.
And I was hoping too, being here in New Zealand, I was hoping with the success that the band was generating internationally, that they were going to. Well, there was a chance, Chris, that they were going to come to New Zealand. You know, I was certainly hoping. I was hoping, and I know that you would have been too. You know that they were okay with this album internationally. You know, there was a chance that they were going to come to this part of the world, but we didn't get to see that.
Forever. There's two bands that you always wanted to see, and like one of them was Van Halen, top number one. Like, what band you want to see? I was like, whoa, Van Halen. Who else? You know, it's like, you know, yeah. Another one I wanted to see Priest, and I was lucky enough to see Priest a few times, so that was pretty good.
And that's why I was kind of surprised at the 2015 tour or the 2012 tour. I'm sorry, that
so
when they went to Japan, that they didn't go to Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
It's probably because you probably heard of the term. Have you heard of the term? What is it called? The South Pacific Peso. You heard that term before? Sorry, guys. Yeah. But it's I don't know if it's to that, but I've heard that term said that way before, which means like it's a tricky one to come down here because our dollar's only worth half as much.
That's because of the cost. Yes, I get that.
Yeah. I mean, no disrespect. I'm really sorry.
No, I understand. It costs a lot to put in production down there, you know, from everywhere else in the world. It's insane.
And we don't have the big promoters here that we had in the 80s and 90s. You know, we had some big promoters here. We don't have them anymore, Keith. So, you know, you guys are lucky, you know, and Keith, you know, Chris said it before too, in relation to you and Kirsten, you know, you guys are there, you know, drive around Southern California, Kirsten. You know, we can only dream of that.
Oh, it's a dream. Oh, imagine
Hell,
that.
I've only seen him 3 times here in SoCal. Just 3.
Oh,
All right.
I'm so
The
proud.
other 33 times I saw him back in New York, New Jersey,
Only
Philly,
3.
everywhere else. But and then once in Mississippi and once in New Mexico. But every other place was back in New York. I mean, that I am just shocked and amazed at how many times I got to see him in that area, though, and to see him during that prime as well. I was just thankful that I was able to see him in New Mexico in October of '86. It was like midway through I think it was like maybe 7 or 8 more shows to go on the tour, and they were in full bore. They were in the swing, and they were just loose as it could be, and you can tell.
Robert's got a great comment there, Keith. He's saying, a different kind of truth's bittersweet for him as well, but he was happy to see that Wolfie got a chance to emerge with his dad, which is a great thing, because that provided the platform for Wolfie for him today, which is fantastic. But yeah, it turned out to be the last album from the band. So, yeah, fantastic. We got another great guy jumping in the chat here with us, Lake District Ambient Music from the UK. Another great friend of the channel joining us. Thank you, brother. We're just here to celebrate. We're talking about 5150, the album. It's 36 years old today. My gosh, Keith. Do you remember waiting in line to buy the album? Do you remember?
I remember every waking moment of anything Van Halen related. I'm idemic like that. I have a stupid memory like that. I remember going into the Air Force PX or the BX and buying this.
Wow.
And peeling the label off and debating whether or not to hang on to the sticker, and I should have.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
And then putting it on the turntable and just hearing it, hello, baby. Whoa, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then
fantastic. The big bopper.
And then having the opportunity to go, 3 months later, I can go see him live. I'm like, yeah. I got tickets real quick, and they were festival seats, general admission. So, yeah, I was good to go.
God, what was the price of the ticket? $5?
No, it was $9.50 actually. No, I'm sorry, it's $12.50. $12.50. I stand corrected. $12.50.
Buddy, I'm just so glad you're still here and smiling.
I mean, last time I went to go see Van Halen, I think I paid $200 a ticket, and those were for amphitheater seats.
Wow. Hey, Danny.
Whoa, 200. That's pretty gnarly, right?
Yeah. So
it's New Zealand
dollars. 2015, but it was worth it. It was a third from last show. They did the 2 Hollywood Bowl shows, but the arena before that was in San Diego. I was in heaven. I was just like numb the whole time. Yeah. I was just freaking when they opened up with, Light Up the Sky.
Right.
Right. And I knew that what the set list was, but it still made my own hair just jump up still, to see it live, because I hadn't seen them do that in ages, in decades, actually. I hadn't seen them do that since the 80s. So there's that, That's why I'm so thankful that I was able to see all of these shows. I just wish that I was able to let everybody see what I saw, and experience what I experienced. It's bizarre, and it's actually belittling too, because it makes me feel kind of jealous, for everybody else. I want everybody to be able to experience that, and
sure.
It's just sad that it's not gonna happen ever again. nobody's going to be able to experience this kind of beauty.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It was a beautiful thing. It was loud, it was obnoxious, it was brash, and it was beautiful.
And it didn't make any excuses for that too, which is what one of the great things about that period in time, and that's the spirit of rock and roll, in my opinion. Jimmy Ray says that he remembers staying outside Macy's to get tickets back in the day for Van Halen. So
in the rain, in the rain, chilling rain. Yeah, I've done that. Oh, yeah.
I think this is one of the reasons, though, you know, we love live music, don't we? You know, and Chris and I are certainly looking forward to when our country opens up. You know, there's some great acts coming our way. Guns N' Roses are going to be touring here later in the year. So, you know, that's definitely going to be one that I'm certainly going to look forward to getting an opportunity to go and see. But I think, Keith, you nailed it before when you said, you know, the power, the urgency of going to a concert. You know, I know that you were making that in relation to Van Halen through your experience, but at least get out and support any kind of live music act, rock and roll acts that you like, because you're not going to probably get that chance if something happens to the band, or who knows what's going to happen as far as this global thing and where they're going to take that, who knows. But you get out there and experience the power of standing in there and being pushed to all directions in front of the crowd. You know, we all remember that, don't we, Chris? You know, you're going back and forward and you can't do it, you know. You're just jammed in there, and it's just like for 2 hours, and then all of a sudden it's like, my gosh, what happened?
Andrew's right. He's right. Like I was lucky enough to see Kiss a couple of times. They were coming back 2 days after my birthday.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley got flu, and he had to cancel down here to go to Japan.
Yeah.
And then COVID comes in, and it's like,
yes,
ain't no going back down that way. And it's like, okay. I want to stand in the crowd with the confetti going on to rock and roll all night. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
I gotta go to my house, and my girlfriend will look at me like I'm a maniac going,
Oh, man.
yeah, I remember sleeping with a couple of mates outside the Founders Theatre to get tickets because back in the day, you could buy. You had to get tickets. You couldn't get them online. You know, this is something that you had to
sit
actually
in line
do
in the rain
That's
with your
right.
sleeping bag.
Yeah. So I remember because back here at the Founders Theatre in Hamilton, they would allocate so many tickets for a gig in Auckland. So like they would give 500 tickets to the contractor here in Hamilton. So you had to wait in line to get tickets to see Pearl Jam when they were touring the 10 album, you know. So and it was a great time. It was a great experience. You know, if you haven't lined up to get tickets, I think that in itself is a little bit different from going to the gig, guys. So it's definitely an experience.
and Kirsten, you haven't been saying much. You've been kind of like, hopefully, like, haven't been talking over you. So tell us a couple of great gigs you've seen.
Well done, Chris.
Couple great gigs that I've been at.
Yeah, just something that you dug and was like, man, that was awesome.
Oh man, I gotta think, because I mean, you guys grew up with the good bands, so you guys are like able to see them when most of them are still playing. Now it's like kind of limited to bands. I grew up listening to 80s bands mostly, so I try to see as many as I can. But tickets are so expensive nowadays, especially in California. But I think the best latest one that I've seen was back in August. I'm pretty sure you guys know a band. It's called Firehouse. I saw them at the Whiskey A Go Go. We got.
Oh, you did not.
Yeah, we saw them. I went with my boyfriend at the time, and we actually, like, I met him there with my dad, and we got seats right in front of the Whiskey A Go Go, like right in front of the stage. So we were right in front of CJ Snare, the singer, and it was incredible. He sounded just like he did in the albums. Like when he was singing like Overnight Sensation and Don't Treat Me Bad, it just his voice, he still had it. It was so amazing,
living the
dude.
life.
It was so
Yeah.
yeah.
Kirsten, did you
And-
know that you were walking into holy ground? The
Yes.
whiskey. Did you know that? Did you know
Yes,
that
dude.
this is like?
That was my first time being at the
I've
whiskey
never been
club.
to whiskey, and I want to go. I just like want to kiss that tile, as dingy as it is. I want to kiss it, and you're lucky. You are blessed, girl.
Dude.
Thank you.
That was my first time being there. I was so happy to be there, and it was hard to take in that moment of just exploring that whole place and seeing Firehouse there at the same time, because that's legendary. But
Yeah.
I'm going back to the Whiskey A Go Go next month, 2 days before my birthday on April 24th, to see a band named Cold. They're really underrated. And I might have to check out the Rainbow Bar and Grill too, because I have not been there. So, yeah.
Definitely. No, hit the grill, and don't forget to do a Jack and Coke for Lemmy.
Oh,
For sure.
No,
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
See, she's living the life the way it's meant to be played, right?
That's awesome. So you sing
Yeah.
Firehouse. Okay, so tell me something. Give us
Yeah.
on for us again.
Yeah, let's hear about the Firehouse show.
The
Yeah.
Firehouse show, it was really good, dude. Okay. Here's the good part of it. So their best album was their first album, of course, their self-titled album, Firehouse. Near that date of when the show was their anniversary of that album. So when CJ Snare came out, we were expecting them to just play hits, right? Like Don't Treat Me Bad, All She Wrote, and just those good songs. And he said, you know what? Since it's an anniversary of that album coming out, we're going to play every single song on that album. And that is exactly what he did. And good Lord, dude. that was
Wow.
an experience of a lifetime.
Full album
so-
side by side, huh? Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've listened to the album since I was a kid. So when I heard a song, I knew which one was after. And I was like, no way is this happening? No way. And then the next song would put up, like, oh my God. It was really amazing, dude. It was incredible.
One of the best feelings in the world. I got to experience that
Yeah.
once when I saw Queensryche perform at L'Amour in Brooklyn. And this was
Dude.
1980. This was 1988 when they were just coming out with it, and they were still performing in clubs. This wasn't a throwback thing. And I had already gotten the album. And I was just mind boggled by it already. I was like, wow, this is like Pink Floyd Part 2. And then they got up and they performed it on stage, the whole thing. I was like, oh. And you got to experience that. You know what it feels like.
Yep.
It's the best feeling in the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. See, you're lucky because Queensryche's one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
I love that band so much.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Great show. Great show.
By any chance, did they play Queen of the Reich?
Yeah, they did. They did. They pulled out a few of their hits from the albums before, from both albums before. They did Queen of the Reich, The Lady Wore Black. They did one, I think like 3 songs from Rage, and yeah, and then they did the entire Mindcrime album. I was just like blown away. And my buddy called me and he's like, listen, we're gonna go see Queensryche. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go see him. I didn't know it was gonna be the full album they were doing though.
oh,
I thought it was just like an extension of the Rage to Order album.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that they had put out the new album, and they were like, we're doing our whole album now. A brand new album just came out, and it came out like 2 weeks before.
Whoa.
Wow. Yeah, it was like February of '88 when I saw them. Out of this world. And then the following week I saw a White Lion there.
Oh,
You know,
come
they
on.
were the house band.
Come on.
A house band, White Lion.
Yeah, they were the house band at Lemoore. Yeah, or like we say in New York, Lemoores.
So yeah, I was going to ask you that. So you went to Lemore's a few times?
Lemoores.
You went there.
Yeah.
You went there.
It's like saying water or coffee.
Okay, sorry. Did you go to Lemore's?
Yeah, we went to Lemore's.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm glad you're a big fan of Queensryche. Thank you for that. See, the future is safe because of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bless you, Charles.
Yep.
Good parenting. Good parenting.
See, you guys are lucky because, I mean, honestly.
All you gotta do is find your music and love it, and talk about it and share it with everybody else.
Yeah.
And like what you like.
That's true.
And like what you like.
And don't don't let anybody else tell you what you can and can't like either.
Yeah.
You know, if it's different, so what?
That's
you
true.
like it. That's all that matters.
But then again,
I like stuff that nobody else would think they would even imagine I'd like. You know, like
I agree with
like African tribal music. Do I look like an African tribal music kind of guy?
You could.
You could. It's called world music.
Alex got me into that.
Yeah. But Lake's District Ambient Music says that he thinks Operation Mindcrime is still one of their best albums. So I got to agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hands down. Yeah.
I want to.
So there's another question.
I just want to apologize to anyone who's in the chat because I don't know about you guys, but I can't see the chat going down and what guys are saying. Whenever I'm watching it, I'm always reading the chat too, so I only see what's on the main screen. So
Me
if
too.
anyone's saying anything, I'm not being rude. I'd love to, I just don't. Hey,
I'm in the same boat, Chris.
Okay, cool.
It's okay.
I'm doing this off my phone, and I've got my computer in the other room. I'm just like, hanging with my toys, my babies, all my goodies.
Jimmy Ray's got a question for you, Kirsten. Do you play any instruments, and how about your father? Does he play anything as well?
Oh, funny question. Yes, I play a little bit of guitar. I'm trying to get more into it. I started getting into it, I'd say this year, like a lot. I can't play any solos yet, that's for sure. But my dad, I picked up a guitar because of him mostly. Ace Frehley too is another reason why I picked up guitar. But my dad was amazing.
He's right.
He is mostly a rhythm guitar. Yeah, and you guys will laugh at this. So he used into sport bikes and motorcycles and stuff. He ended up getting into a really bad accident, and he lost 3 fingers on his left hand. So he has 2 fingers on his left hand, 5 fingers on his right hand, and he plays with the fretboard with his thumb, and he still manages to make it work. So, dude, just today he was playing Queensryche on the guitar. So he plays it every single day, and he makes it work with 7 fingers. So it's
Justin, look at mine.
But yeah. Yes.
I'm missing my middle finger, and I'm still trying to play it. I'm still trying to figure it out,
Dude.
So what I do is I stick a slide in the middle finger. Yeah. Dad improvises just like me. It's all about improvising, overcoming, and making the music sound beautiful, right?
Yep, and dedication. That's true.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. It's about the love and the passion for the music.
How long ago did your dad lose his fingers?
Mm-hmm.
He lost him in 1987, if I'm not mistaken. It was definitely in the late 80s. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lost mine in 85.
Oh.
And I've been adapting and overcoming ever since. But I just picked up the guitar again.
Yeah.
Over,
Good on you.
Over 16 years it's been since I picked up a guitar. So I'm starting to play it again.
Wow.
Good on you, brother. Good on you.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it, and I'm never gonna put it down ever again. I promise.
No, you're not.
My
No.
biggest regret was putting down the guitar.
Yep. But you had your
Yeah.
reasons. You had your reasons, and that's okay. And the fact that you've come back and you've fallen in love with the instrument. Remember, you only need to play 3 chords to make a song. Maybe even 2.
Yeah.
You know, so you don't have to play leads to play Van Halen. You just need to know the chords, and you can play the rhythm parts. And guess what? We can all improvise. We can all just do it our way, can't we, Chris? We do it our way. We don't have to do it Eddie's way. Do it your way.
Which is the right way.
Correct.
Which is the right way.
Just like Eddie says, just go out and play. You know, doesn't matter if it sounds like me. It doesn't matter if it sounds like anybody else. If it sounds like you, if it's your sound, that's all that matters. If it makes you smile and it inspires you, move forward with it.
It's
And read
supposed
this
to
comment
sound
here.
like you.
Yeah. And read this comment here from the rock professor, Durango Reinhardt, saying, you know, he only had 2 fingers on his left
Exactly,
hand and made it
Django.
work. And Django, that's right. And look at him. Look at the position that he holds in the guitar world. Yeah.
Django's an icon.
I always do that with so many times. I'll be you know, I'm self-taught, and I'll find people like, oh, I play guitar a bit, you know, I'm trying to do it, it's really hard. And I go, okay, Jim, what you got? And they're like, well, I'm doing a C, here's a G, and here's a suspended F minor major, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, okay, look, just give me 10 minutes, and you'll have fun. And it's like, I've got like a crash course 3-part fun thing. And the first one is just, you get someone who can't play guitar, you know, and you get them on one string. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, you know,
Just
and they
like that,
always
Chris,
go, and they always go, people, I've done this dozens of times, and people always like, oh, but I'm not doing it right. And I go, that's totally right. And he goes, don't worry about tuning guitar. Don't worry about tuning guitar. You take that one string, I'll come and see you next week. And then next week, you know, and you're getting into the stage of a power chord. And you're going, I'll see you in a couple of years. I'll show you the minor pentatonic scale, and you're gone. You know?
Gone. That's all you need. That's all you need, brother.
Yeah.
That's all you need to groove.
And what about the light bulb moment when you're playing an A chord, a bar A chord, and you go up, and then that's a G chord? You remember that? Yeah. Oh my! You know, same.
Oh my God. You try to do it again and you can't.
Yeah. You know, and then if you come down to the 12th fret, you know, you're playing that same pattern, you know, with the same hands. Oh, okay. And then at the 8th fret, you know, is it the 8th fret? It's the D chord or something, or 8. Yeah. So I remember that. Oh my gosh!
First time I did, I swear to God, I thought it was an accident. And I'm like, holy shit, that sounded good. How the hell do I do that? How do I do it again? And I couldn't. And then I kept on trying at it. And I worked on it, and I got it.
And another fun one I like doing to people, and it, you know, is like you show them funk. You know, you get something, you get one of them, and you just kind of get there. You get one finger. It's okay. Put it anywhere and go. Oh, whoops, sorry. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you go, what are you doing? Because I'm just pressing in and out, and you kind of like just sit there going.
Making a song.
Yeah.
You know, they go, whoa, yeah, is that playing the guitar? And I go, sure it is, buddy. You know? I'll
That's
you
it, brother.
next week.
That's it. That's it. All the guys that we love and girls and that love music and that have played guitars, most of them share one thing in common. They threw the rule book out. They threw, you know, and just did it their way. You know, Eddie is the classic guy for us. He said, I just did it my way. I wasn't interested. It sounded good to me. I was using my ears. I just did it my way. Didn't he? Didn't he, Keith?
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up first, you know, in my day, you know, I was born in 65. 1969, I was 3.5 years old, and I first heard Led Zeppelin 2 and Are You Experienced when it first came out. Those were my first 2 experiences of rock and roll. Woo. So after that, it was a huge ladder to climb there. But what I did was I learned and I listened and I observed. And then I got to listen to, like, okay, what do I like, you know? Then I started to hear Kiss, and I heard what Ace Frehley was doing, you know? And yes, he was a little bit of sloppy, and he would always do his triplets all the time, over and over. But I loved it. It sounded
worked.
great. It was infectious, and it got
It
me.
worked.
It got me into wanting to play guitar.
Exactly the same. His vibrato. I heard that vibrato, and it was like some guy like the first time they take a drug. I remember hearing this vibrato and going, I don't even need a guitar. I just need a string.
Exactly.
I just need a string. I just want to on one string.
Precisely. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Eddie came in and he blew down all the walls. You know, it's like, okay, now I just have to throw my guitar out the freaking window.
It was what's going on there?
Oh yeah.
You know,
But
no
by
disrespect
then,
to what Ace was doing.
By 78,
We had an
I didn't
idea.
even have a guitar. You know,
No, this is weird. I think so. You're like literally. So yeah. When did you what did you hear of Van Halen first? What was the first thing you heard? And
first time I heard it was, you know, the solo. You know, You Really Got Me.
Oh yeah.
You know? And you know, New York radio, they were playing it, and then they started to play Eruption with You Really Got Me. And that's when it really got me. And, you know, they played that the second day. They're like, yes, we played you this yesterday, but you need to hear this today because this is the intro to it.
Was
and
it on the rock radio
I
at the
need
time?
to get this album now. And then I ran out and I bought the album, and I've got it right there. It's it's here. It's right here, along with every one of my other ones. All my originals.
Did you have buddies at the same time who were discovering them as well?
Oh, well, this was 78. So I was, you know, I was 13 or 12.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh God, I heard this, and then I saved up all my money after this mowing lawns, and I bought a guitar and an amp.
Right. What was the guitar?
I bought a POS Hondo with a Fender Twin reverb.
Woo.
You know, it was $150, and I was paying more for the amp than I was for the guitar.
Correct.
So, you know, I just and then I started, you know, I got this, and I got this, you know, all of them, the whole lot of them, you know, all the way up through, you know, Diamond Dave and doing his stuff. But it just listening to this on vinyl and trying to decipher it. You know?
Yeah.
Try to decipher this on vinyl.
Right.
You know, without headphones. You know,
were any of you guys like me? I had vinyl as a kid trying to. Did you ever put your finger on the record player and try and slow it down a little bit?
over and over. I stopped. I slowed it down, rewound it. I was doing the New York scratch thing. Okay, but remember, this came out only in cassette and album then. Okay, so you could only listen to it two ways. They didn't have it in CD yet. It didn't come out on CD until 1987.
Correct.
Right. That's a big thing, right? And it exploded after 1987 because of the CD sales.
Oh,
yeah.
You're right, Keith. I remember buying it both when I bought it on the Friday night. I bought it and the cassette because my car had the cassette player, and I bought the album because
same thing with me.
You know, records were a big deal then because you had to. Like a lot of us back then, you know, the cassette was just a functionary. The album was the experience. The album, taking the album home, sniffing it. That's why we call this show also the Vinyl Sniffers Hangout, because we, you know, you got to smell that vinyl, guys. You know, and you've got to have it. You know what I mean?
We also had the suitcase holders too.
That's what. Well, that was the You know, I came from a working class family, guys.
I had a full suitcase full of cassettes.
And we didn't have a big stereo unit, so my record player was a suitcase stereo record player. I think that was
my suitcase of tapes was just for the Jeep.
Yep.
You know? I couldn't bring my albums to the Jeep to play my music, so you know. I mean, I bought my Jeep based solely on Eddie's. Seriously. I bought
You're riding around in the 80s in a Jeep.
I bought a white 79 CJ5. Looked exactly like Eddie's silver one. Okay.
Wow.
It had a blue denim interior, had a 3-inch lift. The only thing I had to do with it was change a tranny and change the heads on it a couple of times.
Awesome.
Because
Jimmy Ray,
I tore that sucker up. But yeah, he got me hooked on, like, listen, if you're gonna listen to music, you got to listen to it in the car. You know,
Yep.
Have some good speakers, have a good cassette player, and just crank it to hell. And if it pisses off the neighbors, you're doing something right.
Do you guys know that? I only learned that several years ago type thing. That was the thing, you know, like not the thing, but like I learned that like guys would be like, say, recording albums and they'd take it out to the car and sit in the car and go, what does it sound like in here? You guys have heard about that before?
And he did that in his Lambo.
Yeah, but
he did all of his albums like that in his Lambo.
But
every album he did in 5150.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that, but that was a thing. Like you would listen to it and go, it sounds great in here, but what does it sound like in the car?
Exactly. Correct. That was always the test range right there. It's got to sound good in the car.
And back in the day, the good stereo systems in the cars were here, at least in New Zealand, with the Clarions. If you had a Clarion, you had a lot of money, and that was a good system. Yep. Jimmy Ray wants to see your PV, Chris. If you want to, he wants to know. He's saying, "Is that a HP2?" And we're going to say, "No, it's not. We're going to fire it up on solo."
Yeah, sure.
What it is, there's a story behind it, but what it is, it's a barely said a patent pending.
What year is that, baby?
This is a so the serial numbers are funky. This is a first year or early second year special.
Okay, so 93, right?
No,
93?
it's Music Man 96, late 96.
Oh, 96. I'm sorry.
96.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 96.
I talked about this the other day, but if you want to, do you want to hear the story real fast?
Do it.
Tell us.
So this came up 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Facebook marketplace listing in my local and where I live in the main city in New Zealand, and the listing sounded really bizarre, right? It was just the listing sounded wrong. It sounded like it was a fake listing. It was like right-handed wooden guitar made for right-handed people. Just whatever it said, it was really bizarre. And anyway, so I went out there and I was like, the guy, I went out there, came with the case. Anyway, so make a story short. Make a story short. So I go out there for a listing. The guy's got it. This is bizarre. I turn up, and this teenager is about maybe 17. Nice guy, and he brings it in. And goes, "Oh, I've got the guitar here," and he's a little bit like, "Huh?" And brings it out, and he goes, "Oh, I've got it here." And the story goes that it was a family friend. A family friend had this guitar. Had him play guitar for several years and had gone overseas with his wife, and he left it with the family and said, if your son ever wants to play guitar, you can have this guitar. And the son didn't know how to play guitar. I said to him, it's a Eddie Van Halen guitar, and he didn't know who Eddie Van Halen was. And I said, you know Van Halen? And he goes, no, I've never heard of Van Halen. And I go, well, Eddie, you kind of go electric guitar-wise. You've got Jimi Hendrix, then you got Eddie Van Halen. And he goes, I've heard of Hendrix. True story. And the guy was nice. When he brought the case out, he put it upside down and he started trying to open it, and it started falling out. And I had to grab it and go, whoa, son, I got that. That's cool. And he was like, he didn't know anything about it. And I was like, it was one of these dream things. Like it was just sitting there.
Thank you for saving the guitar.
Yeah. It was, and it's patent pending. You guys know what that means, eh? You know the patent pending ones? Yeah. Like, whoa, dude.
Those are the rare ones. Yeah.
Yes.
And it sounds, I've got behind me here, I've got a whole bunch of different guitars, including these four Gibsons in there. I got like Les Pauls and Explorers and Flying V's, and I've got a nice Fender Strat, and I've got a really nice Japanese Jackson, and I've got a couple of Hamers. I've got a couple of nice things, and this just sounds as good as my Les Paul, my proper straight up Les Paul. It's really good. I'm amazed.
I love that.
Good.
Tell me
finding a good guitar.
Yeah. That was he was actually really, really proud of that special when it came out.
Yes.
Yeah, I read that.
He absolutely loved it. He toured that entire year with that guitar. He just he beat it up, and he said, You can't do anything wrong with this guitar.
Yep.
Isn't it
And,
true?
that,
that he
and that's
didn't
the
wanna-
one he started the detuner with as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and his detuner is perfect. Works every time.
Yeah.
I've read stuff people saying they have a problem tuning them, but
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, because he started with the specials and not his one that he was doing not enough with. You know, when he was starting the prototype.
Do you guys know? Is it true? I've read this that he actually wanted it flat and didn't want an arch top. And he was kind of like, that's correct, isn't it?
That
Well,
from what I've read, he wanted it flat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then have you guys own these? But the edges are rounded and they're really nice. If you guys got a really nice round to them, it's not, some
Exactly.
guitars, they can cut
So
your arm when you're playing, but this is really soft.
Right there on the heel there, yeah. That's
Yeah,
the
I had a
important part.
PV special too, same year as yours, but it was the hardtail,
yeah?
Chris.
Nice.
Yeah. I had it for about. I bought it secondhand. I bought it not long after a different kind of Truth came out because a guy was selling it cheap, but got rid of it, to fund another guitar because it just didn't have. For me, when you think of a PV Wolfgang, you gotta have a the Floyd Rose, Keith. I'm
Absolutely.
in my opinion, it just didn't have the cream on the top for me.
Yeah. I love how they on the special he decided to go with the zebra pickups too as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Chris, is that just all naturally worn in? Because that looks roasted neck.
Oh, and that's just worn. That's oiled and worn.
That is beautiful. That is stunning. That looks like mine now.
Hey, no, yeah. I don't know if you can see it in the light, but no, it's not roasted. Oh, yes, right. It's real similar.
I mean, mine's a little bit darker, but wow, yours well played. Yeah, I'd be all over that thing all day long and all night.
I can't put it. I can't put
I
it
would
down.
never put it
It is
down.
a tool. It is a designed tool. Like I keep using it and like laughing about it and just keep saying, I keep saying to my girlfriend, this guitar is just. I mean, I play these other guitars, but I don't think
It's
I need
perfect.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And just
One of
I fell in love with Black Betty here. I'm just like, and she
got a
and I
coin
are
in
just
there.
fine. It's my
You have a-
baby.
You have a coin in there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And another reason why we love the PVs too is because they're on the back of this famous photograph too.
Yep.
Of the
best of volume 1.
The volume 1. Yeah, when I saw that, I thought, wow,
Oh yeah.
love that photo. Love it.
Yep. And I was when I bought this guitar, I was actually having issues right here on the heel as well. Right here.
Right.
It was really ripping me right on the forearm.
Oh,
So
wow.
I just said screw it, and I grabbed my wife's nail file, her emery board, and I just said screw it, and I just did the entire surrounding of it,
And
front and back,
And
so
you know
it's
what?
nice and smooth now, but it also looks like it's got a little binding to it.
And
But I love it. It's got a cool, sleek look to it.
And doing that is something that is completely in the Ed rulebook. Like if it ain't working, fix it, make it right.
Exactly.
He would have grabbed the
Whatever works
file.
for you.
He would have grabbed the rasp.
Yep. Oh, not that bad. No. I'm not going rasp. No.
Or a grinder. He would have grabbed
No,
the grinder.
just a nail file is fine. No, just a little nail file is good all the way around.
But I get
it's got
that
a matte finish.
because I play like that. I'm not a wristy. I'm an army. So my arm sits on the body, and the fact that it's round, it doesn't hurt, and I don't get fatigue.
Chris.
It varies on how I'm playing it though.
Oh, yeah.
But when I'm riffing, my arm's right there all the time.
Is that a
But
keeper,
when I'm
Chris?
soloing, I don't find it up there at all. It's usually higher up.
Right.
or just like high, like here, not resting. But one thing I'm noticing though, my matte finish is going away. It's getting a little shiny right there on the heel. A little too much work. But I love my Black Betty.
Andrew, what you saying? What?
Robert's saying that his Wolfgang Paint and Pending is one of his prize signature models, and the other is his Ernie Ball Music Man. Chris, is that guitar that you got there? I know that you've got a few guitars and you like to move them on if you're not using them, but is that a keeper? Is that Wolfgang you've got? Is it a keeper?
Oh, this was a gift from I don't know where it came from, but yep, it's a gift and it's staying. I'm humble. Yep, it's one of those things. Yeah, totally. This one's just, and even if it wasn't a gift, it sounds so friggin' good. It's sticking around.
Is that your casket guitar?
Did you get it at a good price?
No. In New Zealand dollars, I got it for. I almost never bargain. He wanted 1.2. And because it came with a bunch of stuff, like he gave me a shoebox full of stuff, which included the old owner's guitar straps. And Keith, do you remember Fast Fret?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had like two containers. I've got it behind me of Fast Fret, and he dried out as like it had all the bits and pieces. The guitar lead the guy used, like the guy gave him everything. He must have just given up guitar at some point, you know.
1.2 is a good price, New Zealand, for that.
Yeah,
a 1.1. Sorry, bro. 1.1, which is in American money, would be about what, Andrew? It'd be about $800. Yeah. So, would you buy a Wolfgang Special for $800?
That's a good deal.
Well, considering I got, this was a $700 guitar, and I got it for $450 American.
Wow.
And this is the low end, and this was also before everything started shooting through the roof, because guitar prices are insane now.
Those here, I own one. I won't buy it, but it's 1.5.
Yeah, I'm afraid to go out shopping for anything right now.
Oh, I saw something the other day, like one of the other YouTuber channels, and he was saying, especially brand new, if you're looking for a brand new guitar, buy it now, because it's apparently stuff's going up in the next several months. There's shipping containers around the world, and the imports and stuff in. Yeah,
if you want to get an amp, get it now while you can, because
same with
you're
guitars.
not going to get tubes. Tubes are not going to be had. Tubes are not there to be had.
I've been watching all those.
Or go to solid state after this. Go to your 5150 combos.
Yeah, I'm a flat top fan too of the PVs, and I think that comes from my my like guys of the Ernie Ball Music Man. So that's one of the reasons why I've got the Axis. And look, no disrespect to the arch top Wolfgangs out there, and I don't want to get into a fight with anybody, but we all have preferences. The flat decks for me will always be, the go-to guitar. But I hear what you guys are saying though about the valve amps. I've been watching a couple of those channels too, and the valves. Look, I don't know. Who knows, guys? Who knows what it's going to be, Keith? Who knows what's going to happen next year?
I've heard both. I've heard both. I did learn the other day that apparently, not that it really matters for us guitar freaks, but apparently valve amp making is one of the most unplanet-friendly things they'd make.
Don't say that loud. They might hear you.
No, valves are fantastic. The hot currents and things go into them. It comes out woofy, warmy, and it's really good. And
wait,
breaking the chain. How dare thee? In public.
They might hear us. And then all of us.
But I've heard both.
Then you got to have a special license to have a valve amp, Chris, in this country.
Oh, I heard that.
They're going to take our amps off us.
No, I heard that the worst case scenario to turn into like a boutique thing, and it'd be like rich people that have got them. Apart from the rest of us, will hold on to our stuff.
Well, nothing's changed there.
There's a black ops squad in your back door right now.
I'd love it. Frankly, I'd love to find a solid state amp that worked. It'd be great. Wouldn't it be nice to find one? Not like tubes, but just one that was reliable, half the weight, and because they do sound good, right? You can get solid. They get solid state. It sounds good, but sometimes I've got one solid state head here and about 9 or about a bunch of tube amps, and you A/B them, and it's almost there. Then you plug in.
That's one of the reasons why I got a Nux MG30 a couple of weeks ago in my Head Rush guitar, whatever amp thing that goes with it, because because the modeling technology, Chris and Keith and Kirsten, that's available now isn't what it used to be like, So I think that could be the future for a lot of guitar players, the modeling amps, the modeling systems that are out there, whether it's the Line 6s, or the XFXs or the Kemplers, if you want to spend a lot of money, or the pod system. I think we have to give those a go. We have to try them because there are some good solutions out there. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
We've got
Even
Wolfgang
just going with the
5150
cube,
in the
yeah.
chat, guys. Can you guys say hello to Wolfgang 5150? He's all the way from Japan.
Yeah.
I know Wolfgang.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
Nice.
He's a friend of mine on Facebook. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
him.
he's
great
a
player.
very good
great
guy.
player. Love his work. Great,
Awesome.
Great playing, man. Love you.
Yeah, we love him. Thank you, Wolfgang, for saying hi. EVH forever, brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey,
Yep.
So, Kristen, what do you work with on your amp? Do you have any preference, or what do you like?
I basically just work off of my dad's amp. He has a PV as well. I could show you if you guys would like.
And what's your guitar? Do you what guitar you got?
Yeah, what are you working with?
I got a Les Paul. It's beautiful.
Come on.
But yeah, mostly just
Show us
Les
your LP.
Pauls.
There you go.
Yep.
Is it a
Yeah.
Gibson?
Oh, I was a little
Wait,
bit slow
what?
there. Sorry, Kirsten.
Show
Can you grab
us.
your
Come on, take the time and show us.
Sorry.
Is it a Gibson?
Right here. I got it. I'd say it was last year. I got it off of American Music Supply. It's a website. It came all the way
Yep.
from Pennsylvania, so it shipped across the country. Dude, I was so scared when I first ordered it because it was so far away, and especially because during that time there was a lot of postal problems, especially because of COVID, everyone was sending things out, and I was worried that it would come damaged or something, but the second it came, it felt like heaven because it was just unwrapping it for the first time. It was a dream come true, honestly.
Yeah.
Welcome
It's a
to New
beautiful
Guitar
color.
Day.
It's a beautiful color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Guitar Day is the best day in the world, isn't it?
Especially getting a Les
Yeah,
Paul.
it really is.
Yeah. You always sit there like
It
6
really is,
inches
dude.
floating off the ground for the rest of the day. And just playing that thing and just
Yep.
oh yeah. Oh.
Yep.
You never want to let it go. And you always hang on to that. Please. Whatever you do, always hang on to that passion.
I will.
Okay.
Not to mention, it's right in front of my Eddie.
And then I need you to make that a
So-
Smoking Ace guitar.
Yeah. On a side note, really random side note, you guys ever had little
For sure.
proud of it? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Right on.
Beautiful.
But yeah.
Enjoy it and just run with it for the rest of your life. Go and keep exploring.
Well, you can't go wrong with the Stratocaster, and you
Yep.
can't go wrong with the Les Paul. You can't.
Never.
If you got one of those,
Yep.
you're gonna nail just about everything, aren't you guys? So yeah.
Yep.
Have you guys seen Simon's comment there? You can take our freedom, but you'll never take our amps.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What about when they got to go to the shop?
Guys, we're going to wind it up soon. We've been going for 2 hours. I'm going to say thank you very much, guys, for joining us. I'm going to pass it around to you guys to say final thanks. But Keith, it's always a pleasure, brother, having you come and jump on a show with us, and we look forward to doing many more with you, brother.
Yeah.
You're a
Absolutely.
legend.
Any given time, just drop the
thank-
dime on me and say, hey, want to jump in? I'm there for you. Any given
Awesome,
time.
brother.
Come
No,
on.
we
We're
appreciate
family.
it. Absolutely. And Chris becoming a very, very good friend of the channel too. We're going to get Chris on, and we're going to do a special with Chris, and Chris is going to go through his guitars and talk about some. Yes, he is.
Yeah. Yeah, he
We're gonna-
needs a big run through.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're going to organise a show with Chris, and so we
What
look
did
forward
Chris
to
buy
seeing.
this week?
Yeah. What's in the guitar case? That could be a segment for the channel. What's in Chris's guitar case this week, ladies and gentlemen?
What's in the-
Kirsten, thank you for coming on too. I know that we've asked you a few times to come on, and we look forward to having you back. Please come back and join us when we talk about Van Halen. Please come back and share your experiences with us. You're a friend of the channel too. You're welcome here anytime.
Of course. Thank you.
We need you on more. Absolutely.
You're
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
please.
You are our future. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
please
pretty
do.
famous. Our channel, our little our channel. So you might get invites to go on other YouTube channels too. So we you know, so
That's good.
take that opportunity.
All right. Sounds good.
And I just want to say thank you to both you guys, for your stories, and
Yeah,
really
that's what
awesome
it's
to hear.
about.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, what were you doing? Well, I went to the Whiskey a Go. It was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I know, right?
I went to Lemore's. Oh, that was a good show. It's like, oh, was it?
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
sorry. I only saw Van Halen 36 times.
Yeah. I know.
yeah,
I know.
oh.
I know that Keith. I spoke to Keith earlier today, and Keith was impressed that I knew the actual number. I didn't have to say to him, "How many times did you?" I said 36 times. You've seen
Yeah,
Van
he
Halen.
knows.
And-
Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah. Like you
Yeah,
guys been
only
doing
36.
research on me. I'm not worthy. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're my brethren. I love you all.
Oh, we love you too, brother.
Yeah. But remember, this is what today is all about.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely, brother.
All right. So crank it up, everybody,
Yeah.
all day long.
Yep.
Yeah,
And crank
the
and
album.
turn the windows down too when you crank it up. Just
Grab your album, brother, for the
Yeah.
screen.
drive
Grab-
slowly, crank the windows down, and crank the volume up. And just stay-
Grab your album again,
Yeah.
Keith. Grab your album for the screenshot.
Absolutely.
I don't have an album here.
Grab your book or your guitar. Grab something.
Here, Chris, you can have this also.
Yes. All right.
Yeah,
That's a
Here's a
screenshot.
mini 5150 for you.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. Keith, I know it's been late where you are, and obviously for Kirsten, and again too, Chris. I know it's eating into social time, but it's always a pleasure. Thank you guys for helping the channel, jumping on, celebrating, talking music. We love it. As
And
Keith
everyone in
said
the
earlier.
chat group. And everyone in the
yeah.
chat group.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat, we love it. We're going to come back more. We appreciate it. I'm not going to do a shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys know who you are. You know what you mean to us.
Thank you all. We love you.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here.
Awesome.
And thank you for supporting
Sure.
this channel and Van Halen forever.
Yeah.
Kirsten,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the final word goodbye if you want, because we've been doing all the talking.
All right.
Yeah.
It was really nice meeting you guys. This was my first time on the 5150 show. I got a couple invites before, but I always had school and stuff come in the way. But I'm finally on spring break right now, so I finally had the opportunity to come on. It's 1:11 in the morning here, but I wanted to make sure I had that experience, and I definitely enjoyed it. And connecting with more Van Halen fans, because it's just, especially with me, the people that I hang around with besides my dad, they're not into that type of music, so there's not many people there to like really appreciate that music with. So thank you guys. It seriously means a lot to me to just bond and celebrate this album right here. So I'm definitely gonna come on again. But
We appreciate you.
thank you.
Yeah, you definitely
Thank
need to
you.
come back on again.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to
I
end the
will. I'll
channel,
be sure
guys.
to.
The show with Brad playing a song. He's going to probably get upset with me, but I'm going to end it with.
Nice.
We're going to end it with Brad. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you for the wonderful shout out. God bless you all. Stay safe, everybody.
Thank you all in the chat. Love you all. Happy 5150 day.
Not bad, eh? He's not bad. We're still
Not
live, so
too
don't swear
shabby, eh?
anybody. He's not bad. We're out of here now. All right.
All right.